arrived in Plymouth, Michigan to visit my favorite cousin and her extraordinary family. Not only did I arrive to this wonderful warm meal made of all my favorite foods, Tammy had gone ahead and set up a table and chairs in the garage in order to accommodate my psycho COVID concerns. Um, and then this morning we went for a hike, and you can see this extraordinary path that is walking distance from her home. It was just a perfect visit. Last night I was able to interview Allie and RJ. I have interviews from 2012 and 2016, and they have always surprised and delighted me. But this year, I have to say, they completely blew me away. What follows is the reason that I'm going to put my head down and sleep well tonight, knowing that we are in good hands. This is Allie and RJ.
So, okay, there we go. Start to go. Okay. Okay, so we're in I'm just gonna hold it. We're in
Plymouth.
we're in farming or we're in Plymouth, Michigan.
Yeah.
We're in Plymouth, Michigan, and we're back again. Apparently only since 2012 and 2016 with RJ and Allison. And that was their dad, one of our active politicians here in Plymouth Township, Bob Dorshevitz. And you guys have been raised in politics, so I've always enjoyed being able to talk to you guys. So this year, you kind of know the drill, but I'm going to start out with, if you could define in one word how you are feeling about this year's election, what would that one word be?
I'd say optimistic.
I like that. How about you?
I'm actually the opposite. Just because I feel like there's a lot at stake here, and like because I can't vote, I feel like it's a lot of stuff that's gonna affect my future, but it's out of my hands almost in a way. Cause I can post stuff and share stuff and encourage my friends to vote, but I personally can't vote, so I'm anxious about that, but also optimistic.
So when you think about the things that are coming up that affect your future, what's the number one thing that you are concerned about, and what's the number one thing that you're hopeful about?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, honestly. One of the biggest things I think for me personally is like the environment. Because I know, that's one of the things actually studying in school is like how like much plastics in the ocean, how much the climate is changing, and like typically I think politicians tend to stray away from that because it's like, oh, it's such a big issue that like it's hard to really face, but it's like something that's really going to impact like the future. And yeah, do you have anything?
You want me to answer too?
You can, or you could also tell me, like, do you feel like that the concern about the environment is something you share and your friends share as well, RJ?
Yeah, to a certain extent. In my opinion, it's not the most like critical issue, but yeah, to a certain extent, it definitely it is important.
What's your most critical issue?
For this specific election?
Yeah.
I'd say my most critical issue is it feels like, with this particular election, it feels like democracy itself is on the line, you know? I mean, think about it. You know, we have a president who is refusing to commit to peacefully giving up power. Democracy itself is being threatened, you know? If everything goes, we could have a dude not giving up power. Who knows? A couple months, we could even become an oligarchy.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? We might have overwhelming majority on Supreme Court, majority in Senate. It would be total control of power.
Yeah. And adding off of that, I think another major issue for me is the fact that the Supreme Court is becoming so much more partisan and just so much more like, and it's become, if Amy Coney Barrett, I believe is her name, if she gets nominated, then we become a majority conservative and people who would overwhelmingly majority. And to me, that's like concerning because like that could start to roll back a lot of the steps toward equality that we've made, specifically like marriage equality and and anti-discrimination like in the
Mhm.
workplace. Because especially under like the current administration, I know they've made efforts to try and limit LGBTQ in the it'll specifically transgender in the military, but like
Mhm.
if this continues, we don't know like how far that could roll back because
Mhm.
there's been a few steps forward and like we don't want to go back
Mhm.
super far.
And seeing as how, in general, 50-50 split our country is, having an overwhelming majority to either side is just not healthy.
Yeah.
Just not good.
So do you feel like maybe people might not feel like they're getting fair representation?
Definitely, yeah, 100%.
Wow. And so if you could tell the new incoming administration any one thing that would make you feel better
Mhm.
about the things that you are worried about, what would be the one thing you tell who's ever coming in?
I would say make sure to listen to the people, do what the people want rather than what the administration wants, Don't do what'll make you popular, do what'll actually benefit the country.
Yeah, and along with that, also not just like make you popular, but like what gives you power,
Mhm.
because like typically under the current administration, he tends to thrive by, typically promoting in terms like generally white supremacy, but just like us versus them, the
Mhm.
classic versus the new, the you know Mexicans versus whatever,
Mhm.
and just to see everyone as people, because like it's really easy to get in that mindset of they're different from me, so they're not people. They're different from me, so they're not they don't have feelings, thoughts, families, emotions. So just to remember that.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm not both your godmothers, I'm your godmother.
Mhm.
But I gotta say, I don't think I've ever been as proud.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna sleep a whole lot better tonight because I'm a lot less worried. 'Cause I can't wait for you to vote.
Thanks.
Guys are the best.
Me
Thanks.
neither.